My name is Maya Jenkins. I'm 38 years old, and I live in Plano, Texas. 3 weeks ago, I installed a security camera in my bedroom to catch what I thought was our housekeeper stealing jewelry. Instead, I caught my husband of 15 years having sex with our neighbor in our bed. And when I went through the footage, I realized this wasn't new. This had been happening for 10 years. 10 whole years. I'm a 5th grade teacher. I bake cookies for the PTA. I coach my daughter's soccer team. I thought I was living a normal, happy life in our 4-bedroom house with the white picket fence. But while I was grading papers and meal prepping on Sundays, my husband Derek was living a completely different life. With Amanda. Our neighbor. The woman who hosted our kids' playdates. This is the story of how my entire world collapsed in one afternoon, and how I made sure everyone knew exactly who Derek and Amanda really are. It was a Thursday in early March. I'd been missing some jewelry over the past few months. Nothing major, but my grandmother's pearl earrings had vanished, along with a gold bracelet Derek gave me for our 10th anniversary. Our housekeeper, Rosa, came every Thursday while I was at work, so I started to suspect her. I ordered a hidden camera off Amazon. One of those that looks like a phone charger. I plugged it in on my nightstand, pointing directly at my dresser where I kept my jewelry box. I set it up Wednesday night and went to work Thursday morning like normal. I was in the middle of teaching a lesson on fractions when my phone buzzed. The camera app sent me a motion alert. I glanced at it quickly, expecting to see Rosa. But it wasn't Rosa. It was Derek. And Amanda. I literally dropped my dry erase marker. My hands started shaking. I told my class I needed to step out for a moment and ran to the teacher's bathroom. I opened the app with trembling fingers and pressed play on the live feed. There they were. My husband and my neighbor. In my bed. In the middle of the day. Amanda was wearing my robe. My robe. The silk one Derek bought me last Christmas. I watched for maybe 30 seconds before I had to stop. I was going to throw up. I splashed cold water on my face and stared at myself in that bathroom mirror. 15 years of marriage. 2 kids. A mortgage. Soccer practices and date nights and family vacations. All of it was a lie. I called the substitute coordinator, told her I had a family emergency, and drove home. But I didn't burst through the door screaming. No. I parked down the street and waited. I watched Amanda's red Jeep pull out of my driveway 45 minutes later. Watched her drive the 100 feet back to her own house like nothing had happened. Then I went inside. Derek was in the shower. I could hear him singing. Actually singing. I didn't say a word. I went to my laptop and downloaded every second of footage from that camera. Then I started digging. Because here's what I realized: if they were this comfortable, this wasn't the first time. So I started looking. And what I found made me realize I'd been blind for a decade. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I don't regret it either. I logged into Derek's laptop using his password, which he'd never changed in 15 years. The man used our wedding date for everything. I found a folder buried deep in his files. Just labeled A. I opened it. Photos. Hundreds of photos. Derek and Amanda at restaurants. At the Fort Worth stockyards. At the state fair. On beaches I'd never been to. And the dates on these files, some went back to 2015. 10 years ago. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I kept scrolling. There were screenshots of text messages. Thousands of them. Messages calling each other baby and soulmate. Messages about how they wished they'd met before they married other people. Messages about hotel rooms and secret trips. One message from Amanda, dated 2 years ago: I hate going home to Steve. I wish I could wake up next to you every morning. Derek's response: soon, babe. Once Maya gets that promotion, she'll be traveling more. We'll have more time. I literally laughed out loud when I read that. A bitter, angry laugh. I'd turned down that promotion. Turned it down because Derek said he wanted me home more with the kids. He said family came first. He just wanted me out of the house so he could be with her. I kept digging. I checked our bank statements going back years. And there it was. Charges I'd never noticed because Derek handled our finances. Hotel rooms in Dallas. Dinner reservations at expensive restaurants I'd never been to. A jewelry purchase from Tiffany's $400. I never got any jewelry from Tiffany's. Then I found the real gut punch. A charge from a travel agency dated last October. $8,000 for a week-long trip to Hawaii. Derek told me he was going to a work conference in Phoenix. I was home with our kids while he was in Maui with Amanda. I found the photos. Them at sunset on the beach. Them at a luau. Them holding tropical drinks with little umbrellas. Our 15th wedding anniversary was that month. Derek forgot it. Said he was too stressed with work. Meanwhile, he was celebrating with her. But it got worse. Because when I finally confronted Amanda's husband Steve, I found out something that changed everything. Something that made me realize this betrayal went even deeper than I thought. I waited 2 days. 2 days of pretending everything was normal while rage burned in my chest. I made Derek breakfast. I kissed him goodbye. I smiled. Then I knocked on Amanda's door. Steve answered. Their kids were at school, just like mine. I said, "Steve, can we talk? It's about Derek and Amanda." His face went pale. He said, "You know." Turns out, Steve had known for 6 months. He'd found text messages on Amanda's phone back in September. She'd cried, begged him not to leave, promised it was over. He'd agreed to try counseling. To work on their marriage. But it wasn't over. She'd just gotten better at hiding it. Steve showed me his own evidence folder. He'd been documenting everything. Photos of Amanda leaving my house when she said she was at yoga. Credit card statements showing purchases she couldn't explain. Text messages he'd recovered from her old phone. And then Steve told me something that made my blood run cold. "Maya, they're planning to leave us. Both of them. Derek's been looking at apartments in Austin. He told Amanda he's going to ask you for a divorce this summer after your daughter graduates 5th grade. They've already looked at jobs down there. They have it all planned out." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. Derek was going to leave me. Leave our kids. Blow up our entire family. For her. Steve and I sat at his kitchen table, 2 betrayed spouses, and we made a plan. We decided they weren't going to get to control the narrative. They weren't going to paint us as the bad guys when they finally left. We were going to expose them first. And we were going to do it in a way they'd never forget. Our neighborhood has a Facebook group. About 200 families. Everyone's on it. People post about garage sales, lost pets, neighborhood watch stuff. Steve and I created a joint post. We wrote it together at my kitchen table, both of us typing on my laptop. The post said, "Hi neighbors. This is Maya Jenkins and Steve Patterson. We have something important to share with the community." Then we attached everything. The camera footage from my bedroom edited to blur out anything inappropriate, but you could clearly see who it was. Screenshots of text messages with faces and names visible. Photos of Derek and Amanda together from Derek's secret folder. Credit card statements showing hotel charges. The Hawaii trip receipts. We wrote, "For 10 years, our spouses have been having an affair. They've lied to us, to their children, and to all of you. We're sharing this because they were planning to leave us this summer and tell everyone that our marriages had simply grown apart. We want the truth out there. These are not good people who made one mistake. This was a decade of deliberate deception." We posted it at 6 p.m. on a Friday. By 6:15, there were 50 comments. By 7 p.m., over 200. Derek's phone started ringing. Then Amanda's. Then mine. Neighbors we'd known for years, expressing shock and support. Derek came home at 7:30. He'd been at Amanda's house when the post went up. His face was red. He started yelling, "How could you humiliate me like this? This is private." I looked at him calmly and said, "You humiliated yourself, Derek. I just made sure everyone knew about it." That was 3 weeks ago. Derek moved out that night. He's staying in some extended stay hotel near his office. Amanda and Steve are separated. She moved in with her sister in Dallas. I filed for divorce the next morning. My lawyer says because Texas is a fault-based divorce state, Derek's affair matters. I'm getting primary custody, the house, and he's paying for the kids' entire college fund out of his retirement account. The neighborhood Facebook post got shared to other community groups across Plano. Derek's co-workers saw it. Amanda's boss saw it. Everyone knows what they did. Do I regret exposing them so publicly? Not even a little bit. They spent 10 years lying to everyone. They deserved to be exposed. My kids are in therapy. I'm in therapy. But we're going to be okay. Because I'm not the one who destroyed this family. Derek is. To everyone watching this who's been betrayed, you are not crazy. Trust your gut. Document everything. And don't let them rewrite history. This is Maya Jenkins from Plano, Texas. And this is my story.